Mark Herrig asks, what was your greatest disappointment in life? My best or my biggest? The former seems an oxymoron, and the latter is that I'm still answering questions like this one, panning through the muck in my efforts to find a grain of usefulness in it. Was this what you wanted for my life, Father? Wait, don't answer that. Anonymous asks, Edward, where do you get all your confidence from? Do you have any advice for a person with low self-esteem? I've never suffered from low self-esteem, and I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'll put this as simply as I can. I get all my confidence from me. Being me, thinking like me, looking like me, considering myself the absolute most fortunate to be me. That's not to say I think you should go around being like me. No. I do it best, so there's no point. It's trite, but just being the best version of yourself is the answer. And to hell with everyone else. Addison of the Black Note asks, I'm sorry, but I was a little disappointed in the placement of the Riddler trophies in Arkham City. They seem to be pretty easy to spot, and more often than not were out in the open. Was this intentional? Did you try to maybe make things a little easier for Batman? I felt you did such a nice job with them in Arkham Asylum, and then lowered the bar in Arkham City. Is this a real question? You're talking about a series of video games. That wasn't me. I was never asked, or tasked, if you like, to create anything for those games. If you had ever seen me in real life, lucky you would realize that they paid me only for my name, not for my likeness. The man sounds like someone who copied my work in high school, which is the sum total of this character. Like me, not quite me, as fake as a counterfeit bill printed on a slice of American cheese. So whine about those dopey Riddler trophies all you like, but don't do it at me. If I had been the one in charge, you'd still be looking for them now. Anonymous asks, what was your first kiss like? Soft, gentle, and pressed to my skin in an affectionate manner. A sign of adoration and unconditional love. Just what one would expect when an infant has been placed in the arms of his mother. Chimney Sweeps the Hipster Giraffe asks, does it pain you terribly every time the Batman trumps you in intelligence and strength, which is almost always? And Nightswing asks, if you're as great as you claim, why is the Batman always able to catch you? And PSM Rogues Obsessed asks, so you're the smartest in Gotham, as everyone said, but why wouldn't you have the Batman himself fall to your trap and actually defeat him? Will the Riddler himself admit that the Bat is much smarter than him? I'm an intelligent man, well acquainted with hubris, so I blame myself for my failings rather than credit the Bat for doing anything other than turn up to punch me in the face and smash my toys, like the thug that he is. Queen Derpalot asks, here's a little something for you. I am the end to all relationships alike. I am the meaning behind the glare in your eyes and the fuel to the anger in your stomach, yet I am a completely normal reaction. What am I? And Umbrella Tales asks, it is said strength depends on the roughness of your hits, yet dementia quickly drowns you until you call it quits. War-born royalty decaying with a long-lost face, who will regret you when you vanish without a trace? Riddle me this, if you please, sir. And Anonymous asks, alone I am bitter, but with friends I can be as sweet as a sugar cookie. What am I? Riddles again. Joy. let's get this over with. First, exceedingly vague could be fire, heat, discord, or gall, a cleverer word for bile. Second, vague to the point of obscurity. What is this supposed to be about? A gravestone? Coins? Any kind of ancient history? We're talking riddles here, not another verse of Desolation Row. Third, Christ, it seems like a baking question. Vanilla, perhaps. Isn't the point of these riddles that they be enjoyable or at least provide some modicum of entertainment? These are so amorphous that they simply make me tired. I hope that the peanut gallery is at least suffering as much as I am. That would bring me some solace. Anonymous asks, what do you think of Two-Face? And Anonymous asks, how do you feel about Two-Face? And Anonymous asks, what do you have to say about working with Two-Face? And Two-Face, and Two-Face, and Two-Face. Harvey's fine in small doses, but I find him rather duplicitous. What? You expected a serious answer? Valoscope asks, I'm not as familiar with your backstory as I probably ought to be, but I recalled something about you working on television game shows before your conversion to a more criminal career. Or was it work in video games? Either way, do you have any interest in one or both of these things? And Nerd Chica asks, greetings, Mr. Nigma. I heard that during one of your brief reforms, you were hired as a toy designer. More specifically, you designed puzzles. That seems like it would have been amusing. Was it? Before I became the man I am today, I used to work at Wayne Tech in software engineering. Coincidentally, Jervis Tetch worked in the adjoining cubicle, though his area of expertise was in hardware. And that's all I have to say about that. For now. Anonymous asks, it is starkly apparent that you are in possession of a fine sense of humor and a rapier-like wit, so please, Mr. Riddler, what is your stance on comedy? Do you see it as a meaningless pastime for the mindless, coddled masses, or as one of the most complex, courageous, and misunderstood arts? Courageous? Well, I suppose it must be. Getting up in front of people and hoping they'll laugh at you? I've always seen comedy as a distraction. What are you hiding behind that mask of humor? What's lurking behind the laugh? Except in the Joker's case, of course. I already know there's nothing there. Jazztronic asks, madness is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results each time. Forgive me for paraphrasing, but I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts on the matter, given the people you encounter in your line of work. If there's one thing you can say for the Rogues, it's that we're an optimistic bunch. Innovative, even. We may have the same goal in mind, but the methods we employ to get there evolve every time. It's the heroes who do the same thing over and over, expecting us to reform or change in some way as a result of their efforts, though we are content to remain as we are. Heroes. You want to talk madness? There it is.